recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios, Meanjin, Brisbane.
On 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Zed Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture. Want to reach out?
Share your hot take?
Or do you just want to share your favourite game?
Find us on socials at Zed Games AU.
Welcome to another episode of Zed Games on 4ZZZ. My name is Hazel. I'm here in the studio with...
Caroline.
And...
Peter.
How are the two of you?
I'm doing pretty good today. Pretty good.
You been playing any video games?
I've been playing so many video games.
Yeah? To escape your problems?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Running away from all my problems.
I have been doing it to enjoy and have fun with friends. I have started an enshrouded server. I have been social. I have been...
Nope.
Yes.
I've been playing TCG Card Game Simulator.
Oh, TCG Game Shop Simulator?
Yeah,
That's
Card
simulated
Shop
work.
Simulator.
That's
whatever.
the one.
Yes.
Right.
It's where I ignore the customers in favor of opening card packs for most of the time.
Pretty sure.
just like if you worked at a real card shop.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Well...
I just want to collect the cards and open the packs.
I've been playing Sonic X Shadow Generations.
Yep.
As you heard.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my god, is it good? Oh my god. God.
But can you open card packs?
I don't think so. And that's a positive for me. Well, we got a jam-packed show tonight.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
We got...
And an after party.
An after party. We
Yep.
sure do actually have an after party
And
tonight.
a during party.
A during and after party.
Yeah.
It's just parties all around.
Parties all around.
Yeah.
Well, to start us off, we are going to be going to the news. Later on in the show, we're going to be checking out a review from Rani of a little cute game called Minami Lane.
Mm-hmm.
And towards the end, we got another review from Big Man Paul with Moida Mansion.
Moida.
The latest Lucas Pope game, creator of Return of the Obra Dinn and Papers, Please, and some other things.
Doing quite well for himself.
It's just a little like web game that's
Nice.
on itch.
Nothing wrong with that. Good
yeah.
games on there.
We'll hear about it later. But the most important thing of all, right now, across the road at Netherworld, our friends from this show are running an event. An event called Indie Dev Night. Go there right now.
Yep,
go
just go
to
there.
the Lost Souls karaoke space at the back and check out a ton of sick locally made games that this might be you might be one of the first people to ever play
Yeah, there
them,
was quite a
'cause
number of...
a lot of them are in development.
So exclusive.
Yeah, a lot of them I saw was the first time I think even I'm going to get to see them, so I'm excited to play some.
Yeah.
Join us there after the show.
Do you want a little
Netherworld?
preview of what's there?
Yeah,
Put your eyeballs
let's read it
on
out.
some games.
We got Octo Kid by Astro Fox Studios, which is a single-player VR game.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. We
Yep.
got VR set up.
Yep.
We got Ragdoll Rumble by Nathan Poulton, a multiplayer game for PC. A Study in Crime by Caleb Kimmings, another single-player PC game. Bumper Bout, a multiplayer pinball game for PC where your playfields are joined so you can knock balls into each other's spaces and see who lasts the longest.
Yeah, that game looked like
It's-
a lot of fun.
It reminds me of like the multiplayer Tetris games where you can just ruin the other person's day.
Yep.
It's like you're playing Tetris, but you're also just being horrible.
Mean trolls.
Yeah.
The usual denizens of the internet.
Yes.
What if pinball had like road rage?
Yep.
Anyway, you'll hear more about the other games later on in the show, but for now, shall we get stuck into some gaming news
Oh, yes.
for the week?
There is some things that annoy me, things that make me happy, things that confuse the, feces out of me.
Well, let's get started. This week in gaming news, starting off strong, I guess. We got the Game Awards 2024 nominees. So the Game Awards, if you don't know, are a yearly awards show for the video game industry, hosted by the game journalist Jeff Keighley. There is a committee for nominations and voting that is made up of a bunch of people from very big games companies. So it's generally considered to be a little bit commercial.
Yep.
A little bit.
And all of the money that goes into the advertising of it from big companies to spend 30 seconds watching a trailer.
Yeah, and it's full of releases.
Yes.
But the nominations have come out, and one thing that has caused some controversy is the Game of the Year nominations, because we got Astrobot.
Yep.
Definitely
Good one.
deserves to be up there.
Very much so.
Balatro absolutely deserves to be up there. Black Myth Wukong, I don't know anything about it, but
Darling
I'm sure
of the
it's
year.
fine.
Yep.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, come on. It's Final Fantasy VII, and it's the remake where they made it like a whole new game.
Yeah, a whole new game, pretty much.
Which is crazy. Metaphor Refantasia, which I had not heard of until like right this second.
Yeah, from
pretty
the
much.
Persona devs.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I also don't know anything about Persona, to be fair.
Neither do I, but they do a fantastic story, and I've seen the first couple hours. It's
the
good.
big thing that is causing some controversy is that Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree DLC has been nominated for Game of the Year.
No.
Now, this is a DLC, downloadable content. You cannot play this without the original game, Elden Ring, which came out 2 years ago, and incidentally, won Game of the Year at the Game Awards
And
2 years
fantastic.
ago.
It deserved it.
But what about
Yeah.
second game of the year?
What about second Game of the Year for the same game, but it's just a DLC?
Yep.
I mean,
It should not
I've
be
heard
on
it's
the
a
list.
great DLC, but
Yeah.
that's
DLC. It's still
That's
purchasable
nuts.
extra content for a game that already exists. It is not a game by itself.
like if you want to buy and play Shadow of the Erd Tree right now, you're looking at spending in Australian dollars at least like 120 just picking up like a used copy of Elden Ring and a
And then
copy
buying
of the
the
DLC. And also, they're double dipping. They already won.
Yeah. It should not be as part of game of the, like, overall game of the year.
Is
Sure, if
there-
it wants to just be DLC of the year, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, is there not a DLC category?
There probably is. I didn't look at all the categories, but there's some interesting ones.
There
there,
are a lot of categories, and like you said, there are some interesting ones out there. But we'll just skim over some of the big stuff. The next category we got is Best Art Direction, Astrobot, again, Black Myth Wukong, again, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, again, Metaphor Refantasia, again, and Never.
Oh,
That adorable little game with the wolf that
that made me cry within like 5 seconds of booting it up.
Yeah.
A lot of these look really fantastic, but there's a couple that have unique art directions out there.
Yeah.
I honestly think there's a couple there that should probably win. Black Myth Wukong, Never, probably the two top ones for me of them. Astrobot, probably a third. But yeah, we'll see.
I'll skip over the repeats for the rest of this, but for Best Score in Music, we have got some of those games we already mentioned, as well as Silent Hill 2, the remake that came out this year, which is sitting on a shelf at home waiting its turn to be played.
Yep.
And Stellar Blade.
It had an awesome soundtrack.
Yeah. Best Indie Game, we've got Animal Well, Balatro, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Neva, and UFO 50. Moving along, our next story, we've got some changes to Roblox rules.
Yep.
So,
Good luck
under
enforcing
13s playing Roblox are now blocked from directly messaging others on Roblox outside of games or experiences, which is their latest effort to protect children and to reassure parents, which is much needed because they've been in the media a lot lately.
Yep, they have.
Additionally, under 13s will only be able to publicly broadcast messages inside of games, and users under the age of 9 will only be able to access experiences rated minimal or mild, which all of these sound like things that should probably have already been in there.
Yeah.
You know?
It also requires parents to actually make sure that their child's got a correct account and not just an adult account that they're playing on.
Yeah.
So it still relies heavily on parents doing their job.
But like,
It's an effort.
You know.
It is. You know. I understand them putting their effort in, but it's still going to need parents to actually go.
Feels.
I mean,
in my personal opinion, feels a little too little too late.
Oh yeah.
Like these are safety features that were in Club Penguin.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Rip Club Penguin. Gone too soon.
Bring back Club Penguin. Replace it.
There are actually fan-hosted like private servers for Club Penguin, but we're not here to talk about that.
No.
Well, we should be.
On to our next story. Sony appears to be gearing up to purchase Kadokawa, which is a parent to dozens of Japanese entertainment companies, along with Kadokawa owning Gotcha Gotcha Games, which is known for RPG Maker.
Yep.
And Acquire, which is known for Mario and Luigi Brothership, the new game. They also own a majority stake in FromSoftware.
Yeah.
Makers of Elden Ring, Dark Souls.
Bloodborne specifically.
Yeah.
If they were only doing this just to get the rights to actually re-release Bloodborne in 60 FPS, I'd be all for it. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Sony needs to get their grubby little mitts off other people's studios and games.
One of the things that I saw with this one is Sony, or was it a year or two ago, purchased Crunchyroll. So they've now got anime and manga almost on a lockdown, entirely owned by them.
Yeah.
For the most part.
It feels like all these corporations like Sony, Microsoft, EA, Nintendo, they are just rolling around a Katamari ball and sucking up every little studio
when you can't be creative, buy someone else's creativity.
Yep. And then ruin it.
With the economy
do nothing with it.
With the economy and the games market the way that it is right now, there's a lot of vulnerable companies out there. Well, it's unknown what this may mean regarding the company's ability to collaborate with Nintendo. But a deal could be signed in the coming weeks. So that is in reference to Kadokawa owning Acquire, which made Mario and Luigi Brothership.
I imagine Nintendo's got all the licenses locked down for anything.
But it might mean that Acquire can never work with Nintendo again after making a game that was, as far as I understand, very well reviewed.
Oh, yeah. Really, really good.
We got some news nibbles. Farming Simulator 25 has hit 2 million sales and peaked at over 125,000 active players on launch day.
Those games are good.
Farming Simulator.
I know, but those games are good.
I'm not a Farming Simulator hater. It's just like so crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's not even 25 yet.
No. The big ones that I saw for that one was they've added in a whole bunch of extra like locations, like you can farm in Japan and in like a lot of oceanic countries and stuff. So,
Well, we got to move along. In Germany, Steam users have only been able to see games with an age rating since the 15th of November. Developers will need to complete a questionnaire to receive a rating before being allowed to release in Germany.
Oh no, a questionnaire.
If you don't do your questionnaire for an age rating, nobody in Germany can play your game. At least not the legitimate way through Steam.
Because Steam is the only way to play games.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dungeons & Dragons, the 20-Sided Tavern, is a live theatrical experience coming to Sydney in December this year, where the audience gets to control the quest and the dice rolls are real, which means that no show is ever the same. It opens 15th of December at the Sydney Opera House.
I have a little gripe with all these D&D games that are coming to Australia. They're only going to Sydney and Melbourne. None of them are coming to Brisbane.
Well,
Brisbane doesn't exist in
I know.
D&D land, apparently.
Apparently, but you got Critical Roles, this one, there was another one that's coming next year as well, and it's just like Melbourne, Sydney.
All right, let's finish up with the upcoming games. November 21st, if you're listening live, that is today, we got Dungeons of Dreadrock 2, The Dead King's Secret for PC, Star Wars Outlaws for PC, On Your Tail for PC and Switch, Locomotive on PC and Switch, and Servonauts for PC, which is a Brisbane-made game.
That's a lot of fun, that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fun to troll in.
Overcooked, but petrol station in space.
November 22nd, we've got Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection for the PS5 and Switch. I believe this is the physical release, and you may have already been able to get the digital version. And Spiritmancer for PS5, Switch, and PC.
Awesome.
And with that, we're done with the news.
So you're listening to Zed Games, is that it?
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Hello, you're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games. You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're listening to Zed Games here on 4ZZZ. My name is Hazel. I'm here in the studio with my friends Caroline and Peter.
There we are.
And just a reminder, if you've just tuned in, right now, as we are live, there is an event happening over the road at Netherworld in Fortitude Valley. We have got a bunch of local game devs in the Lost Souls karaoke space with demos of their games ready for you to play. A lot of them aren't even released, so you're going to see some sneak previews of things. You're going to see bugs that no one else is ever going to see. But moving along, we have now got a review from our dear friend Rani of a cute little game called Minami Lane.
This may very well be the only game I've ever 100%ed. I'm talking about Minami Lane. Hello, I'm back with another review. Today I wanted to chat about the little management organization game called Minami Lane. Like I sort of said, it is kind of the only game that I've ever 100%ed, and I decided to do that in like an afternoon. It's a very cute management style game. So, you know, in those big games that we used to play as kids, like Roller Coaster Tycoon or like Sim City or whatever, there was always that like food area, right, where you like just have to satisfy customers with the recipes and you're changing them, and that was like a really big part of how you got good ratings. Well, Minami Lane is that, and pretty much just that. It has a sandbox mode, but it also has a story mode, and the story mode takes you through each street with daily objectives to increase your village's satisfaction. It's super cute and super relaxing. The soundtrack is just really lovely. I just kind of had it playing in the background. Sometimes I'd leave the game open just for a little bit. But basically, you're responsible for making a beautiful street and keeping everybody happy. You have youngsters, young adults, elders, and yokai. The yokai come in quite a bit later. But the young adults and the elders have different tastes, so you can't have one shop that satisfies both of them. You have to make two like ramen shops, for example, or two boba stations, and then tailor the recipe to each of them. I think it is really good. I sometimes struggle to like really get into those sorts of games, but when I really do, I'm really focused on making sure everybody is completely happy. It's not good enough to just get like 1 star. I need top marks. I need 10 out of 10 satisfaction. I think in all it took me like 4 hours to 100% the game, and I think I could have done it quicker, but if I'd like started from the beginning knowing that I wanted to 100% it, then I would. Beautiful streets attract cats, and I know what you're thinking. Yes, you can in fact pat the cat, and it's encouraged. One of the achievements is pat 100 cats. Yeah, so like I had fun. It's a cute little game. I've been playing it on Steam on my PC, and I just open it up every so often. The sandbox mode is fun. You can just build this like massive unruly street, which I did do. The karaoke bar is interesting, and then there are like a bunch of little like mini quests in each level. Usually you can find the tanuki hidden as some everyday item. I think there was only one level where I didn't find it. There's not much else to it, really. It's really just, how many times am I going to say it's cute? It's cute. The art style is very lovely, and I don't know, I don't think it needs anything more. I think it's pretty much just a perfect game as it is. All of the upgrades are pretty cool and they make a lot of sense. It just walks you through. It builds on itself. So you start the first level, and each level after that, a new mechanic is sort of introduced and it becomes more complicated. So you're never really just thrown in the deep end. And yeah, but that's all. Minami Lane. I recommend it. I don't know if you can get it on Switch or anything. I should have looked that up. Maybe somebody in the studio can help me out there. That's my little review for this week done. See ya.
Thank you for that, Rani. It's always good to hear your voice in the studio.
Thank you, Rani.
And not in the studio, over the road at Netherworld, there is a live event happening right this moment, running until, I believe, about 9 o'clock tonight,
9
possibly.
p.m. is the end time, yes.
9 o'clock tonight. And we have got so many games from indie devs in Brisbane who came out to show their stuff they're working on, stuff that maybe is already out.
Yeah.
Stuff that's maybe still in development and nobody else has seen it yet. Go and get a sneak preview.
Local independent developers of Brisbane showing off their games and letting you play them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So get your butt in gear and get down there right now. I'm going to tell you about a couple of the games that are showing. We've got Kamos by Pepperbox Studios, which is a turn-based puzzle roguelike game about a knight that tries to survive in a sunless medieval land.
So it's a knight trying to survive at night?
Something like that.
Night.
We also got Schrodinger's Cat Burglar by Abandoned Sheep coming back again, a quantum-themed puzzle heist adventure where you play as a little kitty cat.
I know, that game is so awesome.
So cute.
And puzzly.
And puzzly, yes.
And catty.
Memento by Fat Alien Cat and Nomo Studio, which is a cozy room decorator with whimsical settings, relaxing gameplay, and charming branching narratives.
I'm keen for that one. It looks interesting.
Yes, and I believe it got a bit of a reaction at
Queensland Games Fest
earlier this year. And the last one on the list is Pieta Both Village by Generative Arts, a third-person horror action-adventure game inspired by a Mauritian folktale. The protagonist, upon returning home one day, discovers that the villagers have been infected by flu-like symptoms, which makes them violent on encounter. Battling through a haunting village setting. Yeah.
You encounter me, I become violent.
But yes, battling through a haunting village setting, he must uncover the dark truth behind the outbreak.
Oh.
It's COVID-19.
24.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I said, get your butt in gear, get on down to Netherworld right this second and go play some games. It's free. It's hosted by us. The rest of the crew are over there right now having a great time, I am sure. And hey, you might even meet the actual developers of these games that you might like.
Maybe. I mean, they are there with their games.
They're pretty busy though.
Yes.
But, you know, you might get a chance to talk to them. While you're on your way over there though, we've got something for you. We got Paul with a review of Moida Mansion. Moida Most Foul. Here it comes.
Moida.
It's time for a mini review of a small game by a regular-sized man with big ideas. It's a Lucas Pope joint. Famed developer of Papers, Please and Return of the Obra Dinn has been in recent times playing with limitations. His last game release was for the Playdate, a small, low-powered monochrome handheld with a crank, and dozens of us own it. There he made a bouncer simulator on Mars where you had to assess alien guests and keep the refreshment table clean. Yes, Mars After Midnight went back to that old cliche. Obviously overwhelmed by the power of the Playdate, Pope has gone old school. We're talking 80s LCD handheld games. Many of you will be too young for these. Think of the original Game & Watch games that you may have seen in a museum. These very simple games had preset graphics which would be turned on or off by the game to create an illusion of movement. Also, a fun thing was when you push the power button, the whole screen would light up and you could see literally every possible thing that could appear in the game. Moida Mansion was released recently on Pope's itch channel, and he really was ambitious working within these limitations. With 4 buttons and a single screen of graphics, he has created a multi-level randomized mansion with unique rooms which you must search for your missing friends, and the Adventure Club's missing turtle, Dot. Can you rescue them all while being stalked by the monster? The game is really about learning the systems and then optimizing your rescue, with success measured in the number of moves, searches, and monster attacks. You won't see it all in a single playthrough though, as different runs will introduce alternative puzzle elements to solve. That said, you'll still learn everything in a couple of runs. This is a small, free game built under an incredibly limited framework, and with that in mind, it's kind of incredible and damn cool. Honestly, I think I'm going to try and get a poster of the fully exposed LCD screen. Does that exist yet? Well, it should. Moida Mansion is free on Lucas Pope's itch page. Dukope, that's dukope.itch.io.
Thank you for that, Paul.
Pew.
You're listening to...
Pew, pew.
Shush. You're listening to Zed Games here on 4ZZZ. My name is Hazel, and I'm here with...
Pew, 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 Caroline.
And...
Pew, Peter.
Whoa, that was loud.
Yeah.
Well, you've been hearing me go on about it all night like a broken record, but final reminder, there is an event on right this second.
Going till 9 p.m.
Going till 9 p.m. over the road at Netherworld, hosted by us. We're about to head over there as soon as we finish wrapping up this show.
Yep.
It's the local dev night. Bunch of devs from all over Brisbane have brought their games, so you can play demos of them.
Play them, test them, break them.
Yes.
Tell them how much you think the game is worth.
Meet the devs.
All of that stuff.
Meet a bunch of other cool people who think it's cool to hang out at a local dev night.
An arcade bar with some good food, good drinks, and good games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and 4ZZZ subscriber discounts, no less.
Indeed.
Anyway, we are coming up to the end of our time for this show. Once again, I know. It's so tough. Only having a whole hour every single week.
I know.
But
I know.
I know.
Ow, I know.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Pew.
You two are out of control tonight. It's time for us to say goodbye.
Oh, it is.
So, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
If you're listening live,
come to Dev Night.
We'll see you.
Pew, pew.
Okay.
Pew, pew.
Pew, pew.
Pew.
Stop it.
Oh, I know.
You're talking over me. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Love you.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Zed Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, you can find us on the Community Radio Plus app.
Or find us on socials at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.